Okay, so welcome dear students. Let us continue our discussion on the ongoing topic on disaster management. Let us discuss something about response and rescue. So NDRF, that is the National Disaster Response Force of India, it comprises of 10 battalions, and the tasks are specialized response during disasters, well equipped and trained in search and rescue. These battalions are well trained. These trainings go on for a number of years, and they assist in community training and preparedness as well. To impart basic and operational level training to the SDRF teams. SDRF stands for the State Disaster Response Force. Okay. Next, we have proactive deployment during impending disasters. So, in times of disaster situations, uh, the deployment plays a key role. Like for example, in the ongoing floods, also the deployment of NDRF has been crucial. Then liaison rehearsals and mock drills are some of the other works of the NDRF battalions. We will study about NDRFs, SDRFs and NIDM in the upcoming lectures in detail. So for now, let us have a quick look on the locations where these battalions are placed. So in the north we have in Greater Noida and Bhatinda in Punjab. Then we have in Gujarat, that is at Vadodara. In Maharashtra we have at Pune, and the National Disaster Management Training Institute that is proposed to be built up in Nagpur. Then we have one team in Patna, Bihar, one in Guwahati, one in Kolkata, one in Mundli in Odisha, one in Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh, and one in Arakonam. So this Arakonam is in Tamil Nadu, and the states, as per the colors, have been designated with various types of battalions also. So BSF, CRPF, CISF and ITPP, they play an important role in these particular zones. Next, what are mock drills? So mock exercises are conducted at districts and school levels, and so far number of drills have been conducted for schools and colleges. Around more than lakhs of people, 15-20 lakhs of people have been sensitized as community and responders. Along in the Commonwealth Games, 55 mock drills were done. So what happens in mock drills? The actual scenario is recreated, and these teams work as if actual disaster is happening. May it be a man-made disaster such as terrorist attack, or may it be earthquake or floods. So mock drills for different disasters, depending upon areas, locations, they take place from time to time. Then we have the research aspect. So involvement of various universities and research institutes to carry out research for disaster management have been developed. The case studies and lessons learnt exercises by NIDM and other things include preparation of digital maps, preparation of upgraded hazard maps, development of GIS platforms for vulnerability analysis, and also assessment of risk. Then we have seismic microzonation. So what does seismic microzonation research means? That we as a whole, let us take an example of Gujarat only. So for as a whole, for a Gujarat, we have placed it in a particular zone. But it is not necessary that for that particular entire zone, the severity of hazard is same in terms of earthquake or any other. So we need to perform some micro zone studies in which particular areas are selected and for which based upon the seismic activities, history and possibilities, these studies are performed. Then we have improved modeling for advanced forecasting capabilities, and National Disaster Management Information System, that is NDMIS. I would like to request all of you to let us pause this video and visit these NDMIS, that is National Disaster Management Information System, and try to see what all features are there and what all data is available there. Next we have Resource and Knowledge Network. So IDRN, that is India's Disaster Resource Network, it was inaugurated in 2003. It is a web-enabled centralized database for quick access to resources up to minimize response time. It is updated every year at district and state levels. So 226 items including 70,000 around records and 545 districts have been uploaded. Then we have India Disaster Knowledge Network, that is IDKN. So it is web portal for knowledge collaboration and maps networking and emergency contact information system. Then the goal is to easy to use unified point of access to disaster management, mitigation as well as response. So by now I hope that you all might be quite comfortable in differentiating between management, mitigation and response and preparedness. So by now you will be comfortable to write down answers based upon the 4 pillars of disaster management. Further, IDKN is a part of South Asian Disaster Knowledge Network also, so that is SADKN. Okay. Other institutional arrangements include armed forces. So in the severity of disasters where the NDRF teams are not capable enough, then these forces are also recruited. Armed forces, CPMF, that are the paramilitary forces. Then we have policing services and fire services. Then we have civil defense and home guards and the state disaster response forces, that is SDRF. Then we have National Cadet Corps, that is NCC, and National Service Scheme, that is the NSS. Then we also have NYKS, that is the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. So all these organizations and other forces, they come into act as and when required. So stakeholders participation. So what does it mean? It means that the participation by the let us say by the industries, by the private or government industries, by the various projects, by the side of media, by the side of major communities, by providing that even the younger ones, like the ones in the schools. So the first one comes up is the corporate social responsibility. So what is corporate social responsibility? It is a percentage of the taxes that is paid by the industries and corporates. So a particular percentage they need to put up as a term of social responsibility they are playing. So it is placed under corporate social responsibility, for which they are also given some tax benefits. So out of their budgeted taxes, so CSR is placed. Then we have the PPP, that is the public private partnership projects. So even they play an important role in managing disasters. Then we have media partnership, community trainings and disaster management education in schools. So these 3 topics I have discussed multiple times in previous sessions. So next we have the this flow chart. So this displays the various interrelationships between communities, between the major top bodies such as NIDM, such as Planning Commission of India, such as NDMA, NDRFs, such as National Crisis Management Committees. Then in community we have professional sectors, bodies, corporate sectors, NGOs, scientific organizations, academic organizations, technical institutions. Then forces and institutional support, we have Home Guard, Civil Defense, NCC, NYKS, CPR, Central Paramilitary, State Defense, Disaster Response, Fire Services, then district disaster management authorities, and also the local authorities such as Panchayati Raj. So all of these combined together, they play a crucial role while managing a particular disaster for a particular locality. Every one of them has a significant role in their own terms, and we should all unite together and try to address the disaster as in terms of preparedness, in terms of response, in terms of management, in terms of rescue, and covering the mitigation aspects as well. Further, about the international cooperation, in this I expect and I request all of you to prepare some brief details regarding these various international organizations. So first one, we have the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs for all international disaster response. Go to their websites, fetch the relevant data, and try to take it in your notes. Then we have UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program for mitigation and prevention aspects. Then we have United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination, that is UNDAC system. It is streamlining institutional arrangements for disaster response. Then we have Asian Disaster Reduction Center in Kobe, that was formed in 98 to enhance disaster resilience of the 30-member countries to build safe communities, to create a society where sustainable development is possible. So go through the web to find out more about these international organizations. I have given you the basic outline. These are the main organizations. Next, the Disaster Reduction Day. We observe it as the second Wednesday of the October month, and UNGA, that is United Nations General Assembly, in 2009 designated 13th October as International Day for Disaster Reduction. So for the year 2013, the theme was to living with disability and disasters. So home assignment for you all, homework, mention the theme that has been chosen for 2020 and what was the theme chosen for 2019. Okay, so try to find out going onto the websites, or you can directly Google it. Okay. Further, it rallies and lectures for awareness for disaster reduction amongst youth, children, and general people. Next, about Maharashtra, or we can take any particular state, the things remain same. SDMA and SDRF, they work at the conceptual level. Then we have Emergency Operations Center, that are EOCs, at the various ministries, that is Mantralayas. So all disaster activities handled through Ministry of Relief and Rehabilitation. This is the case of Maharashtra. You can draw the similar line detail for our state, that is Rajasthan, as well. Then we have Fire Department, that comes under Urban Development Ministry. Then we have Plan Relief Commissioner in Mantralaya will be assisted by that particular another body, that is Yashada. And Supreme Court in the year 2013 issued notice to central government, disaster relief agencies, meteorological departments, and some states including Maharashtra to implement the Disaster Management Act. So I have discussed about Disaster Management Act in the previous session. So since many of the states were not implementing these acts, so Supreme Court issued notices. Then about Nagpur city, so again you can see some of the details which have been mentioned. Now some particular areas of concern, it include activating an early warning system network and its close monitoring. Then mechanisms for integrating the scientific, technological and administrative agencies for effective disaster management. Then we have terrestrial communication links that collapse in the event of a rapid onset disaster. So these are some of the areas of concern, and we should try to develop some technology to address these. Then vulnerability of critical infrastructure that include power supply, communication, water supply, transport, etc. So to the disaster events definitely. So these are some of the areas of concern. If it might be asked in your university paper, this is a very good topic, and you should try to develop some answers by your own. Think about these topics, pause this slide. Sorry. How you can develop an early warning system network, how you can provide some scientific and technological mechanism for effective disaster management, then terrestrial communication links that collapse, what can be an alternative. So moving on to next one, further we have funding problems, primacy of relief as disaster response. So funding issues come up. Preparedness and mitigation are very often ignored. We are very well aware about it. So more and more preparedness and mitigation awareness programs should be conducted. Then lack of integrated efforts to collect and compile data, information and local knowledge on disaster history and traditional response patterns. Then there is need for standardized efforts in compiling and interpreting the geospatial data, satellite imagery and early warning signals. Weak areas include continue to be forecasting, modeling, risk predictions, simulation and scenario analysis. So these are some of the areas of concern. Further we have absence of national level, state level and district level directory of experts and inventory of resources, lack of properly structured NDM plans and state level and district level plans, then sustainability of efforts, effective interagency coordination and standard operating procedures for stakeholder groups, these are mostly missing, so it develops as areas of concern. Then we have lack of emergency medicines, critical care medicines and first aid facilities. So these are further some of the areas of concern. Now let us move on to some future directions. It is to encourage and to consolidate the knowledge networks, to mobilize and train disaster volunteers for more specific, effective preparedness and mitigation and response, such as NSS, NCC, Scouts and Guides, NYK, Civil Defense and Home Guards. Then we have increased capacity building leading to faster vulnerability reduction. Learn from best practices in disaster preparedness, mitigation and disaster response. So we can learn from the developed nations as well as from our past experiences. So we should definitely do some documentation on the guidelines and standard procedures. Next, mobilizing stakeholder participation of self-help groups, women groups, youth groups, Panchayati Raj institutions. So these all should also be included in developing such plans. Then anticipatory governance that includes simulation exercises, mock drills and scenario analysis should be even much more encouraged. Then indigenous knowledge systems and coping practices. Then we have living with risks, so community based disaster risk management, inclusive, participatory, gender sensitive, child friendly, eco friendly and disabled friendly disaster management standards should be developed. Then technology driven but people owned. These are some of the future directions. And new possibilities include some missions like Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission for 70 cities. Recent experience of extreme weather conditions in few major. So further it has been further modified in terms of smart city development, in which 100 cities have been selected. Then we have some projects like Birhan Mumbai, then 1 lakh rural knowledge centers under IT kiosks to have special e-governance for informed decision making in disaster prone areas. Then these are some of the places that you can further explore to explore this disaster management concept even further. So that's all for this lecture. If you are having any problems or doubts, please feel free. From the next lecture, we will be discussing some new topics. So that's all for this lecture. Put your doubts or queries in comments or in the Google Classroom. Thank you for watching, and we'll meet in the next one.